Assalamu alaikum one more time. I would like to continue where we left at in verse 29, talking about the ruling of Al-Jyzia in verse 29. And let me read the entire verse to you in Arabic and English, so perhaps you could probably reflect upon it while I'm talking. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. قاتل الذين لا يؤمنون بالله ولا باليوم الآخر ولا يحرمون ما حرم الله ورسوله ولا يدينون دين الحق من الذين أوتوا الكتاب حتى يعطوا الجزية عن يد وهم صاغرون. Very clear. In English, fight those who do not believe in Allah and the last day, and who do not forbid what Allah and His Messenger have forbidden, and who do not follow the religion of truth among those who were given the scripture, until they pay the due tax with a willing hand, being compliant. And I have reservation on the last part, with a willing hand, being compliant. This is very diplomatic way of saying it, but actually the actual Arabic is not very diplomatic. It's very, very powerful, very strong. It also reflects that is the mode that the aggressor, how to be treated in a very, very powerful way, and in a forceful way actually, and to bring them down to their size. And I'll explain what that means. So it's not so much as with a willing hand being compliant, rather it's more than that. And I'll give you the possible rendition of it later on. The first thing, the terminology qatilu. What is qatilu? Qatilu, of course, in the English, they say fight. Now, the interesting thing here in verse 29, the word used qatilu. As for the other verse, previous verses, where it says, perhaps maybe number 5 or 6 or 4, I don't recall the exact number, but just go back in Surah Tawbah, you will find it in the first few verses, where it says uqtulu, kill them. Here it says qatilu, fight. So there's a big difference in here. The difference between uqtulu, there is a direct conflict, direct engagement, violent engagement, like war, a war zone. Here it says qatilu, fight. Just take a stand. Plan to fight them. Make them aware that you're going to find them. And then qatilu, it does not involve aggression. And that's very important. When you say fight those, that means the other side is really fighting you. That's why the term qatilu is appropriate here. If the other side already in the battlefield and trying to kill you, coming at you, then the verse would say uqtulu, kill them on the battlefield. But here it says qatilu, it requires the other side is in a preparation, intending to fight. There are many signs of war coming up. So the ruling comes to fight. Be ready, be prepared. And that's very legitimate. There's no aggression here. Now, this verse cannot reflect or suggest that the Muslims are out there to kill the non-Muslims. Why I'm saying this? Because the Quran clearly says elsewhere, and that's why we have to take the Quran in its entirety. We cannot understand one verse in absence of the Quran. That is actually injustice to the Quran. The Quran has a specific characteristic that is called وحدة النص والمفهوم. وحدة النص والمفهوم. It's one integral entity, book. It's one integral entity and one integral meaning and purpose. So based on that notion of the Quran, that when you say قاتلوا, it cannot involve aggression, it cannot involve beginning of aggression, initiating of aggression. Why? Because the Quran says, actually in the same surah we are covering, which I covered in previous videos, where it says, those who have begun their aggression, fight those who break their treaty, who began their aggression from the beginning. Then you must fight them. Wait for them in every opportunity, or lie in wait for them, and so on. We cover that. And the Quran says also, إِنَّ اللَّهَ لَا يُحِبَّ الْمُعْتَدِينَ. Allah does not love the aggressors. So that's a guideline there. So the guidelines for rules of engagements, you must not begin or initiate fighting or war or aggression. And you must not attack your enemy without any legitimate cause. So these are guidelines which suggest that qatulu means here what? In a legitimate cause. That means the other side also fighting you. They are there to fight you. They're coming at you. They began aggression, they aggressed against you, and you must defend yourself. So this is in self-defense. Fight those who do not believe in Allah, nor they believe in the Day of Judgment. وَلَا يُحَرِّمُونَ مَا حَرَّمَ اللَّهُ وَرَسُولُهُ. Obviously, here talking about this group who have taken a specific stand against the Muslims, against the call of goodness. Because when you have a group of people who do not believe in God and do not believe in accountability on the Day of Judgment, there's a lot they could do. They would take any opportunity to try to undermine peace and stability of any society. People might say, well, how about the atheist? Well, that's a different issue. Atheists may not take an aggressive stand, but this group, they are taking an aggressive stand, and they initiated aggression against the other side, against the Muslims. So if the atheists who do not believe in God, on the Day of Judgment, they take a stand and they launch a war against the Muslims, they will fit in this category. But if they choose not to, they become, they show a peaceful stand to the Muslims, they're not in this particular group. وَلَا يُحَرِّمُونَ مَا حَرَّمَ اللَّهُ, and do not forbid what Allah and His Messenger have forbidden. What does Allah and His Messenger forbids? Anything that is evil. All evil things really forbids. And when they take a stand against those calls, that if they take a neutral stand, that is all right. We don't have to fight them. But when they go out and they say, you cannot abide by what God forbid and what the Prophet of Islam forbid, that's animosity. That is actually taking a stand against your free choice. وَلَا يَدِينُونَ دِينَ الْحَقِّ. Again, this group who basically they do not follow the true religion of God. Obviously, the true religion of God, we all know, it's Islam, it's peace. Well, I'm not talking about the jurisprudent Islam, but I'm talking about Inna dina and Allah Islam. Surely in the sight of God the religion is Islam. That is the peaceful stand. That is abiding by the pure fitra, the pure disposition that God put in us. That is really the true religion of God. The Holy Prophet of Islam also states that the true Muslim is the one whom people are safe from his hands and his tongue. But these people are aggressors. These people support anything that is evil. They gather support of evil forces. They commit mischief in the land, and they destabilize the peaceful situations in every society. These people must be fought. So then it continues the verse by saying, these people, who are they? Who are these people? Who are they? The Quran says, these people are not necessarily all the mushriks. They are not necessarily all the Christians or the Jews, or they are not necessarily all those who believe in a book. Rather, they are from among the people who have been given the book. The Arabic says, مِنَ الَّذِينَ أُوتُوا الْكِتَابِ, among those who were given the scripture. From among. The Arabic actually has the word from. مِنَ الَّذِينَ. So not all the people who have been given the book, meaning, again, we go back again, small specific group who have utilized their resources to attack the peace and stability and the integrity of Islam. Very small group. Not all the people have been given the book. Because here it clearly says, مِنَ الَّذِينَ أُوتُوا الْكِتَابَ. Now, let's pause about who are these people, الَّذِينَ أُوتُوا الْكِتَابَ. Are they the same people, Ahlul Kitab? Not so. The Quran differentiates between Ahlul Kitab, meaning the Christian, Jews, and what have you, and those who have been given the book. الَّذِينَ أُوتُوا الْكِتَابَ. Very quickly, this is not my topic, but very quickly I can tell you there's a difference between Ahlul Kitab and between those الَّذِينَ أُوتُوا الْكِتَابَ, those who have been given the scripture. Ahlul Kitab are the commoners from among the Christians, the Jews, the Sabians, and so on. They have a book. They're followers of the book. They're just a basic followers. They follow their leaders. They are Ahlul Kitab, the people of the book. Average Joe from the Christian faith, Jewish faith, and all the legitimate faith from Quranic standpoint. But الَّذِينَ أُوتُوا الْكِتَابَ, they are specifically referred to the scholars of these religions, those who have been, who got the knowledge of the book. They are at the helm of these religion entities, meaning this is the religious establishments of religions of God. الَّذِينَ أُوتُوا الْكِتَابَ. You could go back to these Quranic verses where it talks about Ahlul Kitab, and other Quranic verses where it talks about الَّذِينَ أُوتُوا الْكِتَابَ. You shall find a clear difference between them. Utul Kitab, those who have knowledge of the books, and Ahlul Kitab, the followers of these religions. So this takes us, based on that Quranic meaning of الَّذِينَ أُوتُوا الْكِتَابَ, who were given the scripture, these are the leaders that the Muslims are asked to fight, not an average Christian or Jew or what have you. So those leaders who have utilized their resources, their knowledge to fight the Muslims, they instigated the war. They recruited people to join their war. They did not fight, they did not go to the battlefield, but rather they stayed behind and they encouraged young people to go fight for them. Like what we saw during the rise of ISIS, all the scholars of ISIS were behind and they pushed in the battlefield those who were just commoners. They just followed their leaders. So from among the people who have been given the book, the scholars who instigated the war against the Muslims were asked to fight to defend themselves against such people. With this, I will end my video, and until next time, thank you.